finally getting some field work done. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do anything. I'm still not sure I'm going to be able to do anything. This is the only field I've got where I'm 100% certain I don't got to be worried about getting stuck somewhere. Between Sunday and Monday, right? Yeah. Between Sunday and Monday, we had 1.5 inches of rain, which normally wouldn't be much, but we were right just getting to the point where you could safely go pretty much anywhere you wanted, and then that pretty much scratched it. And then Tuesday we didn't get much drying because it was cold and overcast, and then the weather finally straightened out, but it's supposed to rain again Friday. So anyhow, because of that, I've only got about half a load. I've only got about 3.5 ton on, just because I wanted to keep it light just in case. So we're spreading bean ground today. This stuff was blending at about 65 pounds per cubic foot, so we're there, and I needed about 129 and some change pounds per acre, so 2 inches. I got lucky. Well, it's not luck. Luck didn't have anything to do with it. I'm probably one of the few guys that doesn't look at rental ground and go, I'm only going to put on the bare minimum to grow a crop on it because I don't want it. I don't want the next guy to benefit from anything I put on it. I'm a firm believer that you're supposed to leave the ground in better shape than how you found it. That's part of the whole being stewards of the land thing. So luckily I've never been afraid to throw fertilizer at stuff to get it straightened back out. And this year on the bean ground, on most of my ground, but especially on the bean ground, I got everything in good enough shape that technically, going off the soil tests, if I wanted to, I didn't actually have to apply a lick of fertilizer to the bean ground, and there's enough there already to take care of the beans. But I can't bring myself to put on nothing and then grow a crop on it, so I'm not quite putting crop replacement on. I'm putting on the higher end of a drawdown rate because I got some phosphorus levels that need to come down anyhow. But I'm still putting, and then the corn ground is getting the bottom end of what it needs. And then as far as nitrogen, I'm only fertilizing for 150 bushel corn this year, just because of grain prices and not knowing how things are going to go. And I managed to basically cover in the same amount of acres. I managed to shave $7,000 off my fertilizer program compared to last year, and everything's still getting pretty much at least what it needs. So anyhow, that gets the spiel out of the way. So let's start spreading. Hopefully I'll have today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we got chances of scattered thunderstorms, but they keep dropping it, so hopefully it doesn't amount to anything, would be nice. number 2. This field, I'm worried about a wet spot going through the swale back there and over here along the woods, but looks like the rest of it's pretty decent. I know the one behind Mom and Dad's is good, but that's got tile in it. Dang pool cover blew out here apparently. So apparently it didn't blow out there. The neighbor lady put it out there because supposedly that's where her property line is at, and I call bullshit, because I haven't moved the edge of the field since I started farming it. It's always been right here. But it's whatever, I'm not gonna argue. I'll have to shoot the landlord a text, say, hey, you might want to consider getting this line surveyed just because. Thank God for radials and no guts, no glory, but went right through all of it. As you can see, there's still quite a bit of water standing, and then it stops right here. But it's standing from here all the way through over to the woods. It snakes through. Unfortunately, unless something changes in the weather pattern, this might be one of those years where these wet spots get farmed around instead of through them, which I've done it before, but it just sucks. But stuff like that ain't gonna dry out for a while, because that's all, well, I mean, obviously some of it's runoff, but the vast majority of that's all spring water. Because there's a spring starts right up here at the edge of the field. get stuck. All right, so this is a new field I mentioned a couple videos back. This is one, and we can talk more about it when I'm out here chisel plowing and I got more time, but this is the guy that owns it's really cool. I'd describe him as a hippie that deer hunts. They actually did a crap ton of cleaning out here. As far as trees go, you can see where the grass is. They pushed the tree line back that far, all the way out back, where that one lone tree is. I wish they'd have taken that one out too, but there used to be a line of trees where the chickweed stops right there. There used to be a line of trees that jetted out. They cleared all that out. Did a bunch. You used to not even be able to, that row of trees right there is a ditch. You used to not even be able to see the backfield. The trees were so thick. So, and then this wet spot here is actually from a broken tile that needs fixed, which it's too late to worry about this year. But once we get this tile fixed, this spot right here will drain, and then we can square this corner off. And I have a field that's right down the road from here, so I drive past this a lot. And this, despite the fact that it's kind of hemmed in with trees, this ground will actually grow a crop. Problem is, the last guy never sprayed it. He'd come out here, he'd plant it, beans would come up, corn would come up, whatever, and he wouldn't spray it, and next thing you know, you had more weeds than anything else. But it would grow a crop, so it just needs taken care of. But that's why the guy, the property owner, kicked him off and got a hold of me, because he wanted somebody who's going to take care of it, and he was tired of the last guy. And I'm getting to farm this basically for free. And you're gonna say nothing's free. Well, all I got to do is, he said, like 2 or 3 times a summer, come out here and brush chop his around the edges of the field, so he's got a place to ride his Ranger. I pretty much kind of do stuff like that anyhow, so But there's that field, this field, and then there's another little 1 acre chunk on the other side of that ditch. So, but like I say, I basically get to farm it for free other than mowing the paths, which probably 30 bucks in fuel, maybe, with 77, maybe, if that, and 3 hours of my time in the summer. And I'm hoping, obviously, we get this fixed and it'll make this field nicer to farm because we'll have this corner back. And I'm hoping farm it for a year or so, build up some rapport with the guy and kind of feel him out a little bit, and see if I can talk him into taking out the trees all the way to the road and squaring that corner off so that you eliminate all that shade, and then pulling the rest of the trees out of that ditch and eliminating that shade. But we'll see. Like I say, I gotta farm it for a year and feel the guy out and see how receptive he is to it. But he seemed like he might be pretty decent about that stuff. So he already, like I say, he already had a lot of work done out here as far as cleaning up. And he basically said, farm it like it was mine. So I actually think, as far as fixing this tile, because it's an old clay, I think I'm just gonna say screw it and have my tile guy come out here, because the way the ground lays, that tile runs that way, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you got to go through that hill, and it almost seems like that's running uphill anyhow. It would seem like it would make more sense to run a main down to that ditch up into here, and then run 2 laterals up towards the road down to here and drain this whole low spot. As you can see, it's a little soft right here too. So we'll see. I gotta believe I could probably get that done for $1,000-1,500 bucks, because it probably ain't more than 1,000. It's probably not even 1,000 foot. Probably 500-600 feet maybe. Probably all 4-inch, since you'll only probably be draining about 1 acre. And then bulldoze all this shut, farm right over top of it. But like I say, I gotta get my tile guy out here and see what he thinks. So dirt is dirt. It might not be the greatest dirt, but it's cheap dirt. So the only thing that sucks is can't really get the field or the soil finisher and stuff in here, so it's gonna have to be one of those field cultivator and cullimulcher fields, mostly because of that big I think that's an oak right there. So anyhow, out of fertilizer in daylight about the same time, which surprises me because I did figure I'd get nearly this far today with all the road running I had to do. This load should have finished this field, but I'm probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think I ran out about halfway down this row, so I'd have to do this about one more full and then a point row, probably about 250 pounds shy, a little less maybe. Oops. The one thing I can tell you we're going to change about this thing now that it's mine, and I don't know why they don't do it on them right from the factory. Gonna cut a little hole right here and put a sight glass in it so that you can see to the back, so you know when you're running out of fertilizer, because you can't see it from the seat of the tractor. I don't know why they don't do that when they're new. It ain't like it's gonna make a super huge weak spot. It ain't no different than the sight glasses they put in grain carts. So anyhow, I'll have to get a few extra pounds of fertilizer in my load tomorrow so we can come finish this up. And should be, as long as it doesn't rain, or as long as we don't get the thunderstorms they're talking, which I hope we don't. It'd be nice if they miss us. As long as those miss us and we can actually get some work done, as long as my uncle's cooperates, should be all right to be able to finish spreading bean ground tomorrow. That would be nice, because I got a lot done today. So we will hopefully catch you guys tomorrow. All right, I just got back from getting another load of fertilizer. The decision that I kind of got to make now, and I kind of made it. It's about 4:45, and the radar, well, not necessarily the radar, but the hourly says that we got a pretty good chance of a thunderstorm blowing through here within the next 20-30 minutes. The radar doesn't really show it, but I'm not willing, it's just my luck. I'll go out there and, you know, find a wet hole and bury it just about the time that storm decides to blow through. And then I'm sitting there with a full load of fertilizer getting soaked, and then you gotta get rid of it, so you gotta pray to God it starts raining. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, I think I'm gonna stuff it down here in the barn for a minute, and because we've only got a chance of rain between like 5 and like 5:45, so I'll just stuff it in the barn and wait it out. And if the storm never shows up, great, we'll get it out of the barn. I don't got to go that far to spread it. We can get it spread and everything will be good. And if that thunderstorm does show up, then awesome, it's in the barn, it's safe, it's not wet, and we don't got to worry about it. All right, luckily everything fit. I probably shouldn't have buried the fork truck, but if it has to sit here for more than a day, it'll go over to my house and sit in my barn. That way, if it starts sweating, it doesn't make everything in here all fertilizer-y. So the sky keeps getting kind of grayer and hazier, and now it kind of smells like rain. So oh, that's thunder. I think we made a good decision here. That would have been a fun mistake. And not even 2 minutes later, that would have made a nice wet soggy pile in that spreader. Hopefully it passes over quick and we can still go get it taken care of today. Would be ideal. Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the day. It keeps spitting rain on and off, and I wouldn't be so worried about it if it wasn't for the fact that I knew I could go over there and for certain not get stuck. But just my luck, I'll get out there in that back corner and bury the thing up to the axles, and then we're out there trying to scramble to get another tractor out there to get everything unstuck and making a mess, and then a thunderstorm rolls in and fills the spreader up with water. So I think rather than making a mess, we're just gonna call her for the day. So hopefully the rain doesn't amount to much, and Saturday or Sunday we can get that load spread out, because they're still saying it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Now actually they're saying it's supposed to rain overnight, and tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon is supposed to be kind of overcast. So we shall see. Hopefully it doesn't amount to much, because I got some bean ground that if it dries out rather quickly, we could probably start planting beans. But which is a nice thing about, one of the many nice things about having my own fertilizer spreader now, is that since I don't have to be concerned about getting all my stuff spread to get it back down there to Helena, because they're gonna want it, I don't have to get all my fertilizer spread out all at one time. I can spread some fertilizer and go plant, and switch back to spreading fertilizer when I need to, or do whatever. So that's gonna make life a little easier. But definitely don't want that sitting in there too long, especially if it starts sweating. So hopefully we can get it spread out, but at least I got it, so that, because they probably ain't going to be open this weekend anyhow if it rains. So hopefully we can get it spread out and it won't have to sit in there. So anyway, that being said, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.